Now here we are able to select only one category at a time. We are going to make the change in the interface so that user can select multiple categories. Let's begin with that coding. Now we'll go to the sidebar component. Now here we are going to add checkbox. So I'm going to say input type is equal to checkbox. Now you see that the checkbox is getting displayed. Now inside this input, we'll have the sub item. Now I'm going to add a division here where I'm applying the bootstrap checkbox and adding a label also. And here I'm going to say subitem.name. And let's also give some styling. So here we have the items displayed with the checkboxes. Now on change of the input, we are going to call a method checkbox change, where we are going to pass the sub item. Now let's add this checkbox change method here. I'll say const checkbox change. The first parameter is the event and the second is the item. Now here in the apply filter, you see that line number 17 has the item ID. This was working absolutely fine when we had only one data. But here we need to have multiple selection. That means multiple item IDs will be there. For that we are going to take a state which can hold multiple IDs. So let's say const. This is going to be an array. So let's say category filter, and there will be a setter method. Let's also take the use state hook. So use state and there will be an array. That's it. Now let's go to the checkbox change method. And here I'm going to write the logic. So if the checkbox is checked, then we are going to add the items, that is the category IDs, to the categories array. So I'm going to say categories.push. And then the apply filter method we are calling, where I'm passing the categories, which is an array. So now the item which we are receiving on line number 16 is now an array. And here in the category ID, we'll have to say item.map. Now we'll have to make changes to the apply filter. Now here we are going to say query.keys dot includes, and inside includes we are going to apply item.keys. So if there is any value existing, it will return true, otherwise false. Now let's try this. Now we are taking one more state here, which will store the filter. So I'll say const filter and the state. This is going to be an object. And when the checkbox is clicked, we are going to change the state of categories. The same thing I have to do inside the apply filter as well. So the set filter will also be updated. The state will be updated. So the set filter actually update the filter data. Now let's check the output. We have all the data displayed. Now I'm going to just select one category and the second one. So you see that the multiple category data is getting displayed. Now when I unselect this checkbox, you see that the filter is not updated. Let's also do that. In the checkbox change, we will have to remove the unselected item. So I will use the index number. I'll find the index where the checkbox is clicked. If it is unchecked, then we are going to remove from the array. That's the logic I'm defining here. Now let's go to the output and select the categories. Now let's just deselect. I'll have to add value here where I'm going to say subitem.id. Now the next thing is I need to correct the find index also, because it's going to return the first find. So instead of comparing with equality, I'm going to say greater than equal to. Now let's save this and go back to the output. Now I'm selecting the categories and deselecting. So now you see that the multiple selection is also possible with the categories. When all the checkboxes are deselected, as you can see that all the products are gone. What we want is when everything is deselected, it means it should display all the products. So let's make that change too. So on selection of checkboxes, we want to show all the records. So here in the apply filter, I'm going to put an if condition. I'll just check whether there is any category ID selected or not. If so, then we dispatch with a filter. Otherwise, we dispatch the filter as null. Now let's save this, go back to the output. Now let me just select few categories and deselect. And you see that all the records are displayed. So this level of filter is done with multiple selection. In the next section, we are going to see how we can apply the price filter also.